Hello, friends. My name is Koolio, and welcome to the Sweet Rolez Podcast.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Yay! Welcome to the Sweet Rolez Podcast. My name is Koolio. For those of you that are watching on the Koolio Gaming YouTube channel, my real name is Kyler. I'm going to be the Dungeon Master here for the Sweet Rolez Podcast, a Dungeons and Dragons gaming podcast. Now, just to let you guys know, we are going to post a couple of the first episodes here on the Koolio Gaming YouTube channel. But we will be starting an official Sweet Rolez Podcast YouTube channel coming in the future. So keep an eye out for that here on the Koolio Gaming YouTube channel. As well, if you guys are wondering, we are going to start a podcast, like an official podcast for like iTunes and Google Play in the future. And keep an eye out for the announcement for that as well. So without further ado, let's actually go ahead and introduce you guys to the players. First off is actually a really good friend of mine. You guys might know him. He comes on the channel quite a bit for live streams. He goes by the name Mash Momo. But Tyler, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
It's me, Yamomo. So my name is Mash Momo, aka Tyler. I usually just go by Tyler. And I play the Hexblade Warlock Triton named Milos Quelith. And yeah, it's pretty
Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome. And then the next player I want to introduce to you guys is actually my brother, Keldon. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, I'm Keldon, also known as Kellord07. I'm playing Thrall, the Lizard Folk Ranger.
Awesome. And then another really great friend of mine, let's go ahead and introduce Rich.
Is it normal to get stage fright in a room when you're all by yourself? Because I'm experiencing it right now. Kyler, I need it. I need your help. My name is Rich. I don't do anything else cool, so I guess I just go by Rich all the time. But I'm so excited to be here.
And what's your character?
What? Oh! My character is Bontley Boone Orion. Just goes by Boone, though, please. And he is a sorcerer, a human sorcerer.
Awesome. Perfect. Great. And then did you guys have any announcements before we get started? We are pretty new on the channel, and if by some miracle, if you guys, those that like the channel, if you guys are enjoying this type of content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, specifically to the Sweet Rolez Podcast coming in the future, the specific YouTube channel. Also, if you guys have any art or poems or anything like that that you guys want to send us that you want to be displayed during the video, because this is more of a podcast style, so you don't really need to watch the actual video. But once we start, if you guys start sending in like any kind of art or poems or anything like that that you want us to display for you guys, we want to showcase your community that backs us up. And so we will have those flashing in future videos, and we'll let you know when that officially happens. But if we don't have any other announcements, you guys have anything you want to say before we get started?
I was going to say, on the other hand, if you would like to see our faces while we are recording this, go ahead and let us know, and we might, I mean, if there's enough people that are into that, if it's the majority, then we might switch it over. But for now, we're definitely just going to stick to the podcast audio.
And then you will soon regret the request.
Yeah.
You fools.
Show me your body.
Then I'll actually have to get ready, so that's the worst. So.
Yeah, I just woke up.
And, all right.
Harry's Razors sponsor us.
No, they don't.
No, I mean, no. I'm telling them to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Harry's Razors, please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us.
D&D Beyond, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, let's go ahead and get started with the very first episode here on the Sweet Rolez Podcast. Woo!
Yay!
The continent of Adania has gone through many different ages and eras. The Age of Enlightenment, when the gods drew their first breath, walked across the land, forming and changing the world to their liking. Followed by the Great Collapse, when the creations of the gods rose up in defiance of their deity masters. Then there was the rise and fall of the Golden King. And then after that, for almost 1,000 years, came the Age of Expanse, where the High Empire, which started as a small kingdom in the far Northlands, decided to expand and conquer. Their armies grew, their power spread, and Adania came under its rule, and so did its people. However, 100 years ago, thanks to the invention of the storm engine, the Age of Discovery began. The citizens of the High Empire sought riches, glory, and freedom beyond the great seas. Pirates, sailors, traders, all beginning their own stories of adventure. But then, something strange appeared. The Grey Veil. A massive area of the great seas hidden by a thick fog. Rumors began to spread that beyond the Grey Veil lies a world of ancient riches, vast lands, strange creatures, and incredible power, all for the taking. However, no one had ever successfully traversed through the Grey Veil. Until 1 year ago. Rumors began to spread that a powerful pirate lord found entrance into the uncharted territory, and that his secret had come to Trader's Cove. Our story begins with 3 ragtag adventurers who, like many others, sought freedom and glory beyond the Grey Veil, and after scrounging and working tirelessly toward that specific goal, that perhaps today may be their day. In the merchant district of Trader's Cove on the edge of the Great Sea lies the quiet, almost hidden tavern of the Kraken's Skull, known mainly for its unspoken rule of allowing for more shadier practices. We find a young, human male packing his stuff into his newly acquired adventurer's pack in his small, cold and damp room that he has called home for the past few weeks. But today he gets ready to say goodbye and begin writing his own story. So Boone, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
All right. So Boone is a fairly tall young man. He's 22 years old, 6'3", blood type B, grade 6. Just kidding. No, he's not in high school or Japanese, and he likes to wear a vest, and sometimes he'll wear a shirt underneath it. How warm is it out tonight, DM?
It's pretty hot. Trader's Cove is known as a really hot and humid area.
So that means his sandy, wavy hair is a little matted down with the sweat, and he definitely doesn't have a shirt on underneath his vest. He's just going bare-chested. But he does have a bandana tied around his right, upper bicep, kind of on the shoulder. And he's just got baggy, chill brown pants, and he has a bit of scruff on his face, a ruggedly kempt beard, and he walks, oxymoronically, he walks quickly but lazily. Just kind of his whole body movement is relaxed and cool.
Nice. All right.
As he goes forward.
Okay. All right, and then what do you want to do? You're going to start our adventure off.
Oh,
no
man.
pressure.
Yeah.
Lots of pressure.
Well, I'm assuming I'm leaving this room with a purpose. To go get some secrets, eh?
Yes. You're going to leave the room?
I'm going to leave the room.
Okay. So heading over to the door, opening it, and as you begin to head down the hallway, you're on the second level of the Kraken's Skull. You begin to hear footsteps coming up the stairs, and you see a familiar face standing before you. So Milos, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself?
So Milos Quelith is 4'11", but he says he's 4'12", aka 5 feet all the time. He is slim but athletic. He has albino skin, so he's a Triton with just white albino skin. He's got white, short facial hair that's pretty thick, not very long though, so just like that thick stubble. He's got white, short hair slicked back. He's got the whites of his eyes are actually pink due to him being albino, but his pupils are a deep ocean blue, but sometimes they change color depending on the lighting. And he usually wears or dons some casual common clothes, but when he's ready for battle, he's got his thick owlbear hide armor that he wears, that he actually won in a breath-holding contest because he cheated because he's a Triton. But anyway, he also has a gnarly scar going across the right side of his collarbone, across his right shoulder from a boating accident. And he also wears a lucky pendant around his neck, which is a small hilt of a dagger with the blade missing. Maybe the dagger that a small child lost long ago. He doesn't really remember where he got it or who gave it to him. Yeah.
Or what child he killed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that is Milos. Boom.
Awesome. So
Hail and well met, my friend.
Milos, hey, well, that's, what have you learned?
Well, we luckily, due to all of our little jobs that we've been taking care of, the Iron Baron, has agreed to meet with us. So we just need to go out and get Thrall so we can get on our way.
All right, cool. Let's get it done.
Okay. So are you guys heading out then to go find
Yeah.
Thrall?
We're gonna go where we know Thrall went.
Perfect.
It's probably
I
outside.
said that in character voice. That made no sense.
A lizard.
Yeah. All right. So heading down the stairs, you enter into the large open tavern area here at the Kraken Skull. There aren't a whole lot of people here. It's kind of early afternoon. The sun is pretty high in the sky, so there aren't a whole lot of patrons here. This place is usually known for having a lot more people there at night. There are like one or two people that look like they're more passed out drunk from the night before that just haven't left just yet, and probably won't leave as they're probably going to stay there the rest of the night. As you guys begin to head down and head out to the front doors, the doors actually come busting open pretty quickly, and in comes a lizard folk. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Thrall, and what your character looks like.
So I'm I believe 5'11", lizard folk. I'm covered in scars, very lean for my build, and I'm constantly looking around at people around me because I used to be in slavery. And so I'm very on edge all the time. And I notice my companions coming down the stairs, and in my hands are 3 rats. And I walk up and go, "Hi guys, I got us to breakfast."
Oh, gee, thanks, Thrall. I'll make sure to save this for later when I'm actually hungry.
What? But no, you gotta eat it now before it goes bad.
They had a continental breakfast at the hotel, so
What?
I got some Fruit Loops already. You know, the little slices of fruit they hand out.
But I spent all morning capturing these.
You spent all morning capturing those?
Yes.
Did you get the information you were supposed to get?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I also got these in the meantime.
I pull the whole turn my body sideways and open my mouth, and then I put the rat so that it looks like I'm putting it into my mouth, but I'm really just dropping it on the floor,
Like Kronk
and
drinking
kicking it
wine.
away. Like, wow, Thrall, this is super good. Thanks.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. I got you an extra one.
Oh gosh.
Thrall's voice is not what I expected Thrall's voice to be.
You know, I'm pretty full. You can give Milos mine too. Those Fruit Loops
Oh, okay.
really satisfy me. Yeah.
Here you go, Milos.
Oh, thanks, Thrall, and thank you, Boone.
Anytime, friend.
I'm just gonna stick these in my pocket for now because that first one was a fat, chunky one, so I'm good.
Be careful, after like a day or so, they begin to ooze.
And are those rats still alive? Or did you kill them?
They're dead.
They're dead. Okay.
I like to imagine if you pull on the tail just right, though, it twitches like crazy.
And specifically here in Trader's Cove, the rats are like notorious for being like quite big. Like they're fully plump rats.
You know the scene in Shrek where he just like slurps one? I'm just...
Are the rats all brassy too? Like they back talk? I like the idea of rats getting real sassy at you. Sass
eating it.
rats.
It's like, I just want to be a chef.
Yeah. Get out my hat. All right,
All
so
right, guys, let's get going. We've got a meeting to get to.
Okay. So leaving the Kraken Skull and heading out, there are a fair amount of people walking about the docks. But one of the strange things that you guys notice first off is kind of a ways down the dock, a couple of blocks towards the end, the northern end of it, you see some billowing black smoke rising into the air, and what looks to be a large shipping vessel that was that looked like it was burnt down, possibly the night before. And you see several guards walking about, A lot of people are being redirected away from the ship, off in the far distance. However, where you guys are going is farther south into the warehouse district for your meeting. Is that where you guys want to go right now, or is there anything else you guys want to do?
I already got my breakfast.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in the whole boat on fire. Who knows what happened there?
All right.
Bunch of freaks, probably.
So heading farther south in Trader's Cove, walking across the cobblestone pathway that kind of follows and intertwines the shoreline, you eventually make your way down to the large warehouse district. Near the large warehouse district, there are a lot of bigger, very massive shipping vessels that come in. This is where a lot of the larger orders and larger shipments come into Trader's Cove as they're brought in, stored within the warehouses as they are being prepped and ready to head out through the rest of the High Empire. Heading farther and farther in to the knowledge Thrall that Thrall was actually able to gain earlier in the week. Specifically, you guys make your way into the area where the Iron Baron is specifically known to have his special hideout. As you approach, you see that there are several sailors and even some people that would be categorized as pirates begin to moving around from warehouse to warehouse as shipments are being moved from one place to the next. Most of these people, to your common knowledge, work for the Iron Baron and kind of keep an eye out for you. But those aren't specifically the things that kind of stand out to you. The thing that stands out to you as you're making your way through this area, besides the busyness and the large shipments that are coming in, is every once in a while you see a large mechanical construct standing as a guardian sentinel at each of the warehouses that were created and hired by the Iron Baron to watch over his precious cargo. Continuing forward, making your way through, the crowds begin to get even more and more hectic as you eventually approach a large warehouse near one of the more major docks. Around this area, you see a larger variety of mercenaries and more of these living constructs. As you approach, they do give you kind of weird, dirty looks here and there. But approaching the metal doors of this warehouse, you see that there is a metal slit in the door that could be slid away from someone on the inside. So what do you guys want to do?
Does anyone know the secret knock?
Two taps.
I smirk and I walk up to the door and I motion to my companions to follow me, and I go up to the door where the slit is, and I'm going to knock 3 times.
Don't know why you're smirking.
So you knock 3 times, and the slit opens up, and you see this like humongous eyes of this half-orc peer down at you, and you hear his grumbling voice kind of sneer and then say, "When a goblin's hands are hidden,
then my gold has already been taken."
He slowly closes the slit of the iron door, and after about 10 seconds, you hear it move and slide away, and almost immediately as it opens up, there's this waft of incense and perfume that comes pouring out of this warehouse. The inside of this warehouse, as you are greeted in, is filled with what is basically known as Trader's Cove's higher society. There's a large group of dwarves and gnomes and half-orcs all sitting around cushioned sofas and large feather sacks. There's a large variety of different candles and fine dining, wine, food being passed around. Specifically, Thrall, the one thing that kind of hits you a little bit personally is every single, waiter, mainly slave in this area, are female lizard folks that have chains around their neck that are going around from one patron to the next, handing food, wine, silverware, whatever they can to ease these people's comforts while they're here. As you come in, a large very large mechanical construct walks up to you, looks down at the three of you, turns around, and begins to slowly walk down like this red carpet that goes through the center of this beautiful hidden palace.
Can I roll to see if I'm into the scaly women?
I don't know if you need a roll for that. I'm just assuming that you could, if you want to be into them. I mean,
This sounds like an insight roll if ever there was one.
Well, you can roll for insight to see how they're feeling, specifically being here.
No, this is a self-turning insight. I'm still finding myself. I don't know what I'm into.
Maybe you should roll insight.
I'm gonna roll for it.
Erection.
So what you're saying is our very first roll of the campaign is to see if you get an erection.
Is what?
You're gonna have to roll actually a Constitution saving throw.
Well, total that was an 11.
You do find these women, these lizard folk women, who aren't really dressed the most appropriate clothing. They are slaves, but they're slaves with a purpose, if you know what I mean.
Ooh. Wait. Do they have mammaries? They're lizards.
Noticing Boone eyeing my kind, I just kind of poke him in the rib with my little bone dagger. Hey, their eyes are out there.
I can't figure out what's up anywhere. Look, I've seen you looking at human girls. Look, let's just follow the construct, huh? And forget about what we've all witnessed here.
Barn dog?
That's my middle name. Just kidding. I don't have one. It's not the Orion way. Let's go.
Okay, so going down, following this large construct, you're taken to the far end of the warehouse, where there is this sort of a wooden wall that's been propped up kind of in the center. It doesn't reach the very top of the building, and in the center of it is some red drapes. The construct stands the side of it, and you hear a female lizard folk pull open and greet the three of you to come past the red drapes.
What?
What?
So she's motioning for you to come through.
Oh.
Okay. I walk forward.
I'll like
nervously
scuttle in with all my four limbs.
I nonchalantly pull my pants up a little and also walk in.
Okay. Entering into this more private quarters of this large warehouse. In here, there's not as many people as before, but the scent of incense is even stronger in this area. And there are 4 mechanical constructs that stand at guard, 2 on one side and 2 on the right. The slave lizard folk, female, guides you towards the front. As you are brought forward, you see a somewhat throne that looks like it's been constructed from broken barrels and crates, and then adorned with jewelry and gold. As you approach it, you see what is essentially the biggest tiefling you've ever seen. He stands at 7.5 feet tall, muscles all over his body. He's got like purple, dark violet, almost black skin, with these massive curled horns on the top of his head that are pierced and adorned with a variety of golden rings and jewelry. His hands are covered in intricate jewelry and rings with large diamonds, rubies, and emeralds. He's got this black leather jacket that's opened up so you can see his dark skin underneath and these rivets of muscles. As he is talking to a half-orc female that's standing next to him, who's also dressed in a similar fashion to his, dark leathers and black hair tied up into a braid behind her with golden rings pierced through her tusks. She eyes you, whispers something to him, and then stands back. This large tiefling grimaces or grins a little bit, looking down at the three of you. Step forward. I'm assuming you are Boone, Milos, and a lizard. So, I heard that you've come to me looking for something.
Yes, you must be Malachus.
Yes, I am.
It's a pleasure to meet you. We're very grateful that you have made the time to meet with us. We are looking to get to the Grey Veil, get through the Grey Veil, and we've heard that you might have some insight to that.
I might, but what do you have to offer me?
What would you? Is there anything that you need in particular that you're thinking of?
So you come to me asking if I have any offers for you?
Well, I mean, everybody's got a price, and we wouldn't want to be so rude as to offer a low one. So, and look, we have skills and we can provide services. There must be something you need done, or I have my ways of getting things that I want. If it's money, I promise you it's no object. Just whatever.
It just so happens that I am in need of, let's just say, some thieves. If you're willing to take this contract, I might be able to pass along some information in regards to the Grey Veil. If you're willing to pull a job for me.
Oh, see, that's exactly... Look, I don't know why you were laughing. Okay, well, you know what? Bygones. Let's get this done.
All right. Well, here's the thing. This job that I could send you on, sure, I could send my own mercenaries and hired thugs to go and take care of this, but it involves another baron, specifically the Sand Baron, Hadark. And, well, we've got a sort of mutual trust, and let's just say it's almost perfect timing to find a couple of patsies. Now, if I send you on this mission to acquire the item that I desire, if you happen to be caught, killed, we'll deny everything. Is that acceptable to you?
I suppose.
This is pretty fair. No one ever listens to me anyway.
I mean, if we get caught and killed or anything, that kind of sounds like end game anyway, so, why not?
Good. All right, here's a job that I want you to pull off. And if you succeed, I can give you the information you desire. Now, there was rumors and some information brought in from some of my spies that a shipment was brought in yesterday. And unfortunately, there was some incidences involving some of the Sand Baron's own hired thugs. There was an item that I personally want, a so-called magical mold to create powerful weapons. And as you know, I created my own dynasty here based off of weapon and armor trade, and a magical weapon mold is something that I greatly desire. Now, according to my spies, this item, this weapons mold or whatever, is supposed to be sold off to a high empire merchant later today over in the black markets. According to the information that I've received, the trade will happen specifically in the Galley's Isle, one of the more closed off areas of the black market. It said the trade's gonna happen sometime around 7 o'clock tonight. If you can get there and acquire this item without making too much of a ruckus and return it back to me, then our deal is done, and I'll give you your requested information.
Okay.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I think that this should be fairly easy for us to do for you.
Yeah. So your reputation precedes you. Well, if there's anything else, don't ask. And he turns back to his half-orc.
Wait, hold on, I got a question.
He turns again with a angry face, looking straight at you. He doesn't say a word, but the orc maiden standing next to him. What do you want, lizard?
I'm gonna try to close Thrall's maw with my hands if I can, like alligator wrestling.
So you close it.
And just like with 2 fingers, because if it's anything like an alligator, that's how easy it is to keep their mouths shut. I just look gravely at the Iron Baron, and I'm like, nothing, my lord. We're gonna go right now. Isn't that right, Thrall?
I start pushing Thrall out.
See you tonight.
So you're escorted away from the Iron Baron out of his private area into the open area of the warehouse, continuing forward until you make your way out into the warehouse district. So at this time, it's probably more around 2 o'clock. So you have a couple of hours before this supposed trade-off is going to happen. The black market itself is up farther north. It's in the Sand Barrens district, and it's called the Woodworms. Is the area the area is called for where the black market is found?
Okay, so I'm assuming that we know where this area is, the Woodworms.
Yeah. It's north, and it's in kind of like a crescent-mooned sandy beach area. It's easy to get to, but it's in the northern district, the northern area of Trader's Cove.
So we have 5 hours to kill before we have to go do anything. Well, you know, me personally, before I have to do something that's really gonna rile me up, I like to try to relax, but that's just me. I don't know, what do you guys want to do right now? I'm just putting out what I like to do, and there are lots of ways I like to do it, so what are you guys thinking?
If you touch one of those lizard women, I might kill you.
It doesn't have to be a lizard woman.
That's fine.
Yeah. I don't see why you care, though.
We definitely should give ourselves some time to at least go and inspect the area and kind of pre-plan what we want to do. But do you guys think that we have enough time beforehand to relax?
Well, I think there's always time for relaxing. You know, planning is just how dumb people make more work for themselves, you know? The truly skilled just make it happen in the moment.
They just wing it, huh?
Yeah, to put it crudely, sure.
Do you have any place in mind where you'd like to go relax?
You know, I feel like I've already said a lot, so someone else can say something.
I need to make more daggers, so,
Oh, not that ghastly business again.
But no, it's fine. So making a dagger.
Okay.
So,
well,
let's go find some people to kill.
What?
Whoa.
You know, I could. You know what? No, that's pretty dark. Not gonna say it. Look, we can find things to do that are relaxing over in the Woodworm district.
Yeah, the Woodworms.
Yeah. So we can head over there anyway. I'm sure there are fun things to do there. You know, maybe we could grab a pint or whatever.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's go over there.
Sure, and maybe while we're grabbing a pint, we can ask some of the patrons at the bar if they have any information about the black market or the Galley's Isle.
You are welcome to do that. Let's go.
All right, let's head out.
So you guys are heading to the Woodworms?
Yes.
Okay, so traveling northward, passing by both the Kraken Skull and that burnt down ship, which you could probably guess is the ship that the Iron Baron was specifically talking about, that brought in the shipment from the day before. You continue farther north, and the way to get to the Crescent beach area is you end up passing by what is known as Widow's Tower. It's this large lighthouse that looks out across the sea, mainly known for the widows that go and stand up there waiting for their husbands to return. Passing by the large stone tower, you come across kind of like a little bit of a cliff where you can see down into the Crescent beach area. And the area where the woodworms are, it's this massive construction of broken down, wrecked ships that have been smashed together, hammered together, rope tied, along with some floating houses and stuff. But it's this massive, almost castle-sized, singular building created from all of these ships that's just down the cliff's edge. As you make your way farther and farther down, the population of the area begins to get even busier and busier as you make your way up onto this floating building, this massive floating building going into the black market area. Now, this area is known for dealing in more of the illegal trade of the High Empire, but the High Empire specifically itself kind of turns a blind eye as it makes its own profits here. Going in, you see a large variety of different people. You see gnomes, tieflings, half-orcs, dwarves, all bustling and moving about. Several different shops that have been set up. As you continue farther and farther in, the shops get more and more dense as they are almost layered on top of each other as you have to go up ladders or go down steps. And you essentially make your way into a place where there's so many buildings built around you and ships constructed that the sun is completely blotted out by these overhanging banners and ribbons and strings and stuff, as the sound is loud and coarse as there's so many people bustling around in this area.
Gosh, it's dark over here. How?
I'd like to look around and see if I can see any bars or popular places to hang out.
Okay. Looking about, one small little name kind of pops up that says the Salt and Iron. That looks to be possibly like a small little pub situated in the, you have to go down a couple of wooden and stone mismatched steps into like the hull of an old ship. As you go down into this area and you see another sign just above you as you enter into this door called the Salt and Iron. Walking in, you see a lot of people sitting about, chatting, talking to each other. You see two elven barmaids moving back and forth with golden hair flowing down, almost down to their waist, moving back and forth, handing out drinks of ale and food. And it's a pretty bustling tiny little tavern that you found kind of situated here in the Woodworms.
I'm gonna go flirt with one of the barmaids.
Okay.
Wait, what race are they?
They're elves.
You can't. I mean, I'm not elvish, but you can't touch not lizard folk. Yeah, see, it's not very nice, is it?
The lizard folk women were being used. These ones aren't, okay? Wow.
Can't. I wasn't gonna, force them into anything.
Well, why are you making race all about this, huh?
What? You were?
I was not. I was making a slavery thing about it.
Oh. Then I totally misread that. Look, it would have been 100% consensual. I don't see.
No,
we just need to communicate more.
Would have not been consensual.
No, I would have been picking. Look, that's not how I roll. Thrall.
Look, you be my wingman. There's two of them. I'll take the one on the right. You take the one on the left.
I can't be your wingman right now. I'm mad at you.
What? No, listen. Bygones. I don't know what that means, but I heard you say it earlier, so it's probably fine.
You tried to feed me a rat, and then you wouldn't even let me look at people.
You wouldn't eat the rat. I didn't force feed it to you. I just got you breakfast. Now you're getting mad at me for it? I got you breakfast, now you're being mad?
Look, okay, fine. I'm your wingman. I didn't mean it. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you were planning, but whatever it is, we'll go do it.
Alright, we're gonna walk up to the two barmaids.
Okay. So going down the center, you kind of have to scoot your way between a couple of people, and for just a second, Boone, you kind of get knocked back a little bit as a little bit of a small bar fight breaks out between this smaller, gruff-looking gnome and this pretty large human that begin to kind of wrestle against one of the tables. The bar maidens don't even like flinch as the fight goes on, but you kind of get pushed back a little bit as one of them kind of bumps into you as you pass through them. Make your way. You just see them like they don't even pay attention to you. They just like fall on the ground as this like gnome is like beating this guy's face in on top of him. People are like beginning to like cheer and chant around these two. Making your way farther into this small little tavern, the bar maiden that's closest to you that you approach swings around, and she's got a plate of dirty dishes and empty ale cups, and she almost bumps into you. Oh, I'm sorry, and begins to make her way back towards the kitchen.
You watch it too.
Excuse me? And she turns around and looks at you.
What? No, I was talking to this. Look, these ruffians in here keep bumping me. Not you. You're lovely.
All right.
Bump me all you want.
Thank you.
I think I turned that around the wrong way. You know what? Go on. Go about your business.
Okay. And she, a little confused, continues to make her way back towards the behind the bar.
I didn't actually expect her to.
Wow,
This is rich.
so smooth,
I didn't expect her to
Boone.
react.
So smooth.
You know what? Yeah, okay. I'm not super smooth. Well, who did you have your eye on? I hope not that one.
Well, I told you the one on the right behind the bar.
Oh, okay, good. Dang, these ruffians though really are setting me off. I'm triggered.
So, making your way towards the bar, it's pretty packed with a lot of people kind of calling out for drinks. As you go back there, you see the other very beautiful golden-haired elven woman who's got almost like golden copper eyes is handing out drinks to a lot of people, taking them back, taking orders. You can tell this one's also pretty... she's straightforward as she's had to smack away a couple of hands. But Thrall, to you personally, like coming over, getting ready to talk to her, you actually see out of the corner of your eye a female lizard folk who's also kind of cleaning up and putting up all the dishes and things like that. However, no one's really paying too much attention to her. And you can see that she's got a strap tied around her neck with 5 copper rings attached into it, signifying that she's been a slave for 5 years.
Hey, Thrall. Are you sure you want that one on the right behind the bar?
What are you saying, huh? Just because I'm a lizard folk, I always want to be with lizards?
No, that's not it. It's just... Boone wants what Boone wants, you know?
I mean, there's 2 behind the counter.
You said I couldn't touch slaves.
But I'm not referring to the slave over there. I'm referring to the 2 elves.
Oh. Dang, she's so ugly.
There's 2
so
elven
ugly, I almost
armies
didn't
behind
see
the
her.
counter. I told you I'd take the one on the right.
Okay, you know what? I'm not in the mood anyway. Let's do it.
So which ones are you guys talking to?
We're
I'm not
to
talking
the,
to either of them. I'm gonna let Thrall make the first move.
I'm gonna walk up to the 2 barmaids behind there, and I'm like,
Well, hello, you lovely elves. My lord over there, Boone, has been eyeing both of you, and just wondering when you guys get off.
The one of the elven women looks at you, gives you a quick glance, almost like she didn't even hear you, and says, "What do you want?"
No, not for me. For that gentleman over there.
Do you want a drink?
No, I want you to.
Okay, then back
Wait,
away from the bar.
I lean
As
to
she
Milos.
turns and begins to talk to other people.
I lean to Milos and go, Is that his MO? This is the most painful thing I've seen since... And then I shudder.
That was not pleasant to watch, that's for sure. I'm going to walk into the bar and I'm going to glance around the room to see if there's any shady-looking folk or people who might look like they have been here for a while.
Hi, this is Kyler from the Sweet Rolez Podcast. Just want to say thank you so much for watching episode 1, part 1, here for our Dungeons & Dragons podcast on YouTube. If you guys have been enjoying this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date in the latest for the Sweet Rolez Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Bye, my friends.